everybody. Today we're going to talk to you about the 5 most important things in our book titled Networking Works. I'm Candace Galbraith. It's Brittany Weber, Ted Berkeley, and Vanita Valentine.
Hello everyone. We wanted to read you a quick excerpt out of our book. Remember those dot-to-dot pictures you did as a kid? Connecting those dots wasn't always so simple. So sometimes you asked other people for help, and sometimes they asked you. Networking is a lot like that. There might be someone out there who can help point you towards the next dot along your path, and you might be able to do the same for them. But you'll never know unless you network.
There are several misconceptions about networking.
I'll never have the time. I'm always just way too busy.
And I'm really just too shy. Talking to people makes me really nervous.
I don't really like being fake or phony.
These misconceptions aren't things that should prevent you from networking. If you're shy, make listening your strength and build off of that. Networking isn't something that you should have to devote hours of your time every day to do. If you're short on time, you can meet someone over coffee or get in touch with a contact via email or phone call. And last of all, if you don't like being fake, just try to be genuine and don't force relationships. You know that you're not going to be close with everyone in your network, and Vanita will explain more about this and the different types of networks.
Okay, there's 3 different types of your network. Your first network is your inner circle, which consists of family, both immediate and extended, friends, colleagues, both former and current, as well as classmates and professors. These are the people that know you the best. They know you on a personal and or professional level. They interact with you the most, as we do in all of our DMHP classes. And then you have your extended network, which consists of acquaintances, fellow association members, fellow online correspondents, and fellow email correspondents. These are people that know you, but don't really know you too well, but they do know you. These are people, if you were to explain your interaction or why they know you, they'd be like, ah, yes, I remember who you are. And then you have the network you never knew you had. This consists of friends, relatives, and colleagues of friends, relatives, and colleagues. Public figures in your chosen field, as well as fans of your work. These are people that don't know you. So if you were to tell them who you are, they'd be like, I'm sorry, I don't really know who you are. But they are your weak ties, which other groups have talked about, which are very important to get your network. So after you've identified who your network is, it's very important that you make your initial approach.
Okay, so the first step of making your initial approach is prioritizing. You're going to make the list, or to look at the list that you made of your network and pick the top 10 people you feel have the most knowledge about your field and will be the most helpful to you. The second step is to make the initial contact. You'll do that through email, phone call, or letter. The way that you determine which form of communication is the best to use is how formal you like it to be. The most common form is email. So the third thing you want to do is follow up. So you email the person. If they respond right away, then you should also respond quickly, because once you have their attention, you want to keep it. If it's been 2 weeks and you haven't gotten a response, that means that it's okay to send another email and just remind them, it could have gone to their junk mail. So after that second email, if they don't respond, it's time to move on and just brush it off. The fourth thing we're going to do is lather, rinse, repeat. So you're going to go through that top 10 list and send each person an email. The fifth thing is to solicit additional contacts. So that means you're going to look at your original list of your network, and you're going to look at people who may not have the knowledge of your field, but maybe they know someone who does have that knowledge and can help you. So hopefully by now you've set up an initial meeting, and Candace is going to tell you guys what to do and what not to do.
So as college students, we pretty much think we know everything. You think you'll be fine when you go on a meeting, but once you get nervous, all of that may go out the door. So some tips are, the first do would be to meet at a cafe. It's somewhere casual, light, a nice place to have conversation, or maybe suggest your favorite latte to the person you're meeting up with. Don't meet at a place like a bar. It's rowdy. You don't want the person to think that you don't know what's appropriate and what's not. Do find common ground to talk about, to avoid that misconception about being fake in a meeting. If you pick something that is of common ground to both of you, then the conversation will actually be genuine because you're talking about something that you know or that you care about. Don't monopolize the conversation. This is a meeting. You're there to gain insight and knowledge from the person that you're talking to. You can't do that if you're talking the whole time. You should listen attentively and give feedback when necessary. Keep it professional. When you're talking, be comfortable around the person, but be the most polished version of yourself. Try to avoid talking about personal subjects like their personal salary, their family life, unless they bring it up first, and other controversial topics. Do mind your table manners. This includes just basically basic dining etiquette. Also, don't be rude to your server. You don't want the person to think that you are rude in general. And also, the very last thing, which probably seems obvious, don't let it turn into a real date. If you find yourself being very comfortable with that person, you should stop and evaluate. Is foregoing the professional contact worth pursuing that person? So, after you've completed the whole meeting, then you will work on furthering your network and completing those ties. And Ted will talk about that.
The best networking relationships are reciprocal over time. You stand to gain a lot from the relationships that you build, but you must also have a lot to offer. So be a generous networker and refer contacts to one another. You can also share advice and job postings with people inside your network. Show your appreciation by sending personal thank you notes to anyone who helps you out. And lastly, build a reputation as a good person to know and a good person.
Okay, so now that you guys have an understanding of what network is, we wanted to give y'all a visual representation so that you can fully understand it. So we're gonna have a little scenario. So my name is Brittany, and I recently graduated with a marketing degree, so now I'm looking for a position in the marketing department. So a couple days ago, I met with Hilda, and she actually sat next to me in one of my classes about 2 years ago. So we were just having a casual conversation about what I was doing after college, and so she actually met with Ted for lunch about a week later, and this is
After having lunch with Hilda, she mentioned that Brittany was looking for a marketing job. So later on, I told my mom, who works in the marketing department for Macy's, that Brittany was looking for a marketing job, and I sent her Brittany's contact information.
Well, back to me. I'm Ted's mom. I work in the marketing department at Macy's, but I'm not actually the person who's in charge of the hiring. But I do have Brittany's contact information, so I sent it to HR, Vanita, so she could probably send me.
Since I have Brittany's information, I decided to shoot her an email asking for her resume and to therefore see if we could set up an interview.
Oh, that was good. I received Vanita's email, and I sent her my resume, and then she asked me to set up an interview. So networking is very easy. This is a kind of a representation. It's like a web, but networking is easy, and as you can see, networking works. Okay.